Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Try It Out Tuesday, our first Try It Out Tuesday of June. And isn't the weather just saying June to us? Isn't it? No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Thank you for joining me on this not so fine evening. As you join in, if you could share the live, I would greatly appreciate it. If you are catching up with us on YouTube, if you could click that subscribe button, that would be fantastic. And if you are joining us for the first time, make sure, and you're here on Facebook, make sure you go back through and have a look at any other lives that might take your fancy. Hello, Alison. Because there is lots and lots to look at. And also, as always, make sure one is checking out the Be Crafty blog, where the creative team make absolutely fantastic, easy to follow photo step-by-step projects. Okay? There's so many there for you to look at, and if nothing else, even if you don't necessarily have exactly those stamps for each project, you can always sort of mix and match and add those up. It can just give you some ideas of layout, which can be absolutely great. Right, so let me just find you on the old phoneo so I can see your comments. Like I say, if you are able to share, I would greatly appreciate it. It is not a prerequisite, though. If you'd rather not and you just want to stay, that's absolutely fine. We're okay with that. It's not a problem at all. So tonight we are going to be doing some card making. Now, this is based on a card that Alison made that you can catch up with on the aforementioned blog. Okay, this one was done a while ago. Alison used the stitch in time. It was released at the same time as this one, but I'm going to use the butterfly stitch. Because what I wanted to do tonight... Hello, Moira. Hello, Kim. Hello, Maxine. Hello, Pauline. What I wanted to do tonight was actually do a bit of a focus on these stitch borders. Now, the stitch border stamps are a stamp set that we launched, I won't lie to you, a very long time ago. But we see it as a Be Crafty staple. And for that reason, it is one we have continually restocked. However, once the current stock is gone, we are going to probably replace it with something else. It's equally useful, I'm sure. But it's an absolutely fantastic stamp set, and I just want to make sure that I'm encouraging everyone to use it as much as possible. So what I'm going to do, like I said, if you saw my post earlier saying about tonight's live, this card also is very art journal page like as well, and that's one of the things I liked about it a lot. So we're going to be working on a big piece of card. We're going to be working on a piece of 7x7. Okay, so this would work, like I say, as an art journal page, or if you adjust the size, because we're going to put in some filler stamps and use our stitchy borders. I also have on hand my Journaling Essentials 2, my coffee stains, and my big numbers. Okay, because Alison used those on hers. So again, this is what I'm going to do later on. When I finish this, I'm going to put Alison's card and my card side by side in the Be Crafty Stamps group. Okay, and then you'll be able to have a look and see how you can use the cards and projects that the creative team are putting on the blog as inspiration to create your own. And prove that they don't need to match. It's about using that as inspiration with the Be Crafty products you have, if you don't have them all, because we don't expect everybody to have them all. I can't have everything I want, so I don't expect you to either, but you might be luckier than me, who knows. Okay, so first things first. Why do people say that? First things first. Seems kind of obvious, because otherwise it wouldn't be the first thing, would it? Anywho. So I have selected some yellows and blues, but having just thought about it, Alison used sort of bluey green tones. So I'm thinking I might mix it up and bring in some, I'm going to swap out the green. I'm actually going to keep the fossilized amber, and I'm going to bring in a bit of picked raspberry, because again, you know, we don't expect you to have all the inks that are available. I don't have all the inks that are available. You know, we have what we can, don't we? All right. So let's lift these out of the way. So I'm using my small A4-ish blending mat, okay? The reason I say ish is because the A4 and A3 blending mats are ish. They're not exactly A4 and they're not exactly A3 because of how the Mylar comes and how Dad laser cuts it, okay? When Billy's laser cutting, it only fits a certain way. So it just means it's slightly smaller in those dimensions. All right, so we've got our 7x7 here. What I am going to do is I am going to do each colour itself. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to smush all 3 colours at the same time. I'm just going to do one at a time. Okay, and I'm actually going to start with the blue and then build up. All right, so let's put these up here for now. I'm going to put some of the Mermaid Lagoon on here. I'm actually going to put quite a lot of water on here. Okay, and we're going to dab, dab, dab. And I'm going to dry a little bit in between. Because then I can pick up some of these droplets and then you get that lovely dropletty look. As well. But this is one of these things, you don't need to worry about it, really. Hi, Dave. Alright. So, hello, Maggie. Hello, Caroline. Hiya, Shazza. Okay. So we're just going to... Now, the beautiful thing about this is I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. You could use your regular Distress ink. You know, any of the inks that you have that are capable of doing the sort of watery smushy... Oh, my phone's just gone. Not even in a crafter lunch. Bear with. Bear with. Oh. Can't resist a Miranda reference. Alison, you had forgotten about this card. Well, you see, that's why. I hadn't. Alright. So we're going to put that. So you can see, if you, for example, say you've only been able to treat yourself so far to one distress ink. Okay. With using this technique, you get that sort of different tone of that blue. If you then stamped with that blue, blended with that blue, you would get a lot of variation on your card, and you mix that with a black ink or maybe some heat embossing and you are good to go. All right. So, you know, don't think because you've only got one ink, you can't achieve anything like this technique, because you can. And you can always build up a bit more. Okay. So, right. Now I'm going to go for some picked raspberry. I'm going to do 2 sections of picked raspberry. I'm just going to give them a little bit of movement before I start, and then we're going to... I haven't decided the direction of my card yet, as in terms of I don't know which way it's going yet. That'll all depend on how we continue to get the ink to build up. Alright. I will say, if you were going on with your regular distress inks, I would possibly start with my lightest colour first, okay? With oxide, you can build paler colours onto darker ones, for example, but if you're using your regular distress, a yellow isn't going to show up on a blue particularly well. Alright, we're just going to mist that some more. Orientation to be determined. That is a very good way of putting it, Caroline. Orientation to be determined. I feel like there's a joke there, but it's kind of inappropriate, so I'm not going to say it. Right, so we're just going to finish and add in those bits. As you can see, I'm taking immense amounts of care on the colour placement. No, that's because there isn't. Don't worry about that. That is not something to worry about. What we're doing right now is we're building a background. And before anyone has, oh, what should I say? What's the right word here? The naivete to ask, oh, Bev, what sort of card is that? I have no idea. If you kind of look at it, it kind of makes it clear it doesn't really want to be a water technique card. But when it does all these sort of mottling things, for me, that just adds a perfect amount of texture. For me, that's putting in background work that I don't have to do. So is it ever going to dissuade me from doing water techniques on inappropriate card? No. Right, so moving swiftly on. Drop my ink pad on my finger. Never mind. Right. So now we're going to put some fossilised amber on. I'm going to put this in sort of like a bit of a block. Okay. I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to use. So, you know, you're just going to have to embrace the chaos with me. All right. Oh, now then. Oh, lovely. Look at that. So this is the thing, you see, Alison is there right now saying there was no thought to her colour placement either. It's not like Try It Out Tuesday is a sort of seeing behind the veil thing. We don't even put the veil up. We're happy to tell you, no, we're winging it. And that's what we're telling you. It's okay to wing it. We wing it too. Lots of you used to see me wing it on television live. Winging it's fine. Embrace the wing. Okay. I will say as well, if it's something you've never noticed before, fossilised amber has some lovely pinky tones in it when you use it for water techniques. So I actually think it goes with pink really, really, really well. Just going to give it a little dry on the back, just to see how we're going. Okay. So I'm going to put my blending mat out the way. And now we have got our base card. Now, to give you an idea of how, so when this is finished later on, it's going to sit onto its 8x8 card with a beautiful white border. Look at that. Stunning. Stunning. Okay. And as I have been telling you literally now for decades, it is only a piece of card. If you don't like it, say you've over-inked it and it's gone mess, don't throw it away, okay? Because what you're going to do is you're going to stamp on it and use it for fussy cutting, or rip it up and use it for a background. But that doesn't mean you have to continue using it for this project. You just stick it in the fussy cutting scrap box, and then you use it after. All right? Oh no, Maggie, you're all packed up, ready to go. That's all right. That's good. Look at it. Look at it on the bright side. You've packed it all up ready. That means all of your craft stuff right now is a million times neater than mine. I mean, I know that's not much of a challenge, but here we are. Right. I get the feeling I'm waffling a lot this evening. So, you know, if you'd like to, like, turn your sound off and just watch me, I understand. I do. It is a bit like Refresher Colours, Sam. Okay, so from here, I will say, if you're nervous about doing this or you don't have a blending mat yet, you can use your big Super Skinny Slims, okay? Your Super Skinny Slims are a very multi-purpose tool. They're good for blending inks on, obviously for stamping with, that sort of thing. So, Super Skinny Slims for the win, all right? And also, if you wanted to add just a bit of colour, you can always use one of your, for example, smaller ones. If you wanted to add a strip of colour there in the same way, so, you know, you want to have more control over it, use a smaller Super Skinny Slim, and then you can smush down and you can have a little bit more control over it. Alrighty. Thank you. So I'm just waiting for the thought process to kick in. Sometimes it just takes a little mini moment. All right, so we're going to be using, like I say, the butterfly stitch. Alison did use the stitch in time, but like I say, I'm going to put these cards side by side later so you can see. All right, as you can see, there are elements from the stitch borders within this stamp set, okay? Because you've got the measuring tape in a couple of areas here. It's also within one of the circles, okay? You've got some of the stitchy borders around here. So this stamp is made up of some of these, because this stamp was made with these components, and it was actually my mum that asked to have the borders out separately, okay? Because she said I can use those separately, because she did a lot of bullet journaling at the time. So that's how these stamps are built up by me from different images. So it was using these. All right. So let's put that to the side a second. Now, I have decided my orientation for this square on the card is going to be this way. Okay. So in order to stamp a tall stamp, I'm going to turn it this way so that I can stamp thusly. All right. So I'm going to be stamping in black, which I'm not altogether sure if I'm gonna regret or not, because I'm loving this pale, very refresher scented background, as Sammy called it. Right, so we're going to go over here with our VersaFine. We're going to do lots of tapping. Ooh, the new VersaFine should be in next week. I'm going to do lots of tapping, but like I say, when I have them in my hand, that's when I'll believe they're here. Right, and then we're going to put that right about in the middle there, straight down. And we're going to lift, press, lift, and apply pressure. Your Super Skinny Slims are designed to flex. Do not bend them. We are flexing. I'm just going to keep pushing down. If you're not sure you've applied pressure everywhere, just go and add a bit more. Once the stamp's on there, you're fine. All right, and then we're going to press and lift, and then we've got our beautiful butterfly stitch all there, okay? Beautiful. Alrighty. And now, in fact, do you know what? I'm just going to leave that on there. Sometimes with my bigger stamps, I do like to leave them just on because it's easier. Right, now, because we have a couple of the measuring tapes in here already, all right, I'm going to add some more in. So I'm going to get my blending mat back and wipe off that excess ink. Okay, because we're going to be stamping off the card. What I mean by that is I'm going to ink up the measuring tape. So basically you're going to use your butterfly stitch is almost like the starting point for extending this collage using your other stamps, okay? So I'm going to put that on there. So that is sort of like the centerpiece of your stitch borders set. Now, one of my favourites to go around the edge is this one. But what I love about this one is it kind of looks like I've stitched it. It's got bits missing and threads small threads coming out. Do you know what I mean? I'm soft craft illiterate. I'm telling you, I'm just not very good. I'm paper and ink. Here we go. But I'm just thinking. I am just thinking. No, we'll go with this one. We'll mix it up. All right. I have to say, this one here, I find really useful. It's thin. It's got a little bit of zigzaggy and a knot on the end. Really handy if you just feel like it needs something, but you don't want to add more frill, more froof. You know, you just want something quite delicate just to finish off because you're not sure. This thin strip there is definitely the one you want. But like I said, I'm going to use this one here. So I'm just going to put that. Now, I will say, on your let me just lift that out of the way, your Super Skinny Slims. Obviously you can also, because these are border stamps, you can adjust them, you can wiggle them, okay? That you're not just stuck with that straight line. There are many more possibilities. All right. And that's what we like. I'm sure you're probably all sick of me saying it because I say it all the time. One of the reasons we love stamping so much is that, I'm going to put the actual messy stitchy bit at that end. You can do so much with it. It's the versatility of stamps that makes us love them so much. Okay? And with your border stamps, not only can you do all the techniques that we love to do, but you can also make them into other shapes, which I think is rather awesome. Okay, so we're just going to put this stitchy border all the way around, but we're not going to join it up. We're just going to put it into each corner. All right. So again, if you were thinking, I like that, but I feel like I want to do more with the stitches, but you're worried about maybe overcooking it, you can take this beautiful thin one here. Now this is a really good one to wiggle because it's ever so fine. Okay. We're just going to put that on there. I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm not going to put it quite as far. I'm going to put it just inside. So you can see it's got that lovely knot there and the zigzags. And this one, so what, I'll do it the other way up. And then you've got the lovely zigzags on that end. Okay, so we'll take that off. Okay, I think I'm going to go over now. I'm going to grab my Journaling Essentials number 2. I'm going to add in some more of these circles because obviously we've got the circles from our butterfly stitch. And I just think the circles from here are just going to add in a little bit. I am going to stick to the more open ones. All right, I'm just going to get another Super Skinny Slim border. Okay, I'm going to put it that way. And I'm just going to put this in a few different areas maybe. So I'll do that coming off there. Then at the bottom of here. And then we've got these crisscrosses. They definitely look like they could be a part of this collage, don't they? So we're going to tap those. We're going to add them in, coming off that one. But we'll put some coming up here and across here. So you can see this would be a really good way of building an art journal page too. And then we're going to get another one of these open circles. I'm going to go for this one with the dashes on. I'm going to add that in there. So you could, I reckon, this would work with Sally's monthly challenge with the dots, especially if you added some more on in and around your other areas. Okay. Now I'm going to move on and I'm going to go for the numbers. Now, The numbers are something I do get questioned on. People ask, why do you like adding the numbers? I don't know. I just like how they look. I think numbers are fantastic shapes. I think they're fun to use. I think they add some familiarity sometimes when the art journaling stuff maybe looks a little bit weird and wacky. You can see I've got numbers in here. I love adding numbers in. They're just fun. Really, really fun shapes. So I'm going to add in the 3 over here. Obviously, if you were making this as a card for someone and it was a significant number birthday, or just any birthday, I suppose, you could make the numbers work to your advantage in that way. So I am going to put a number 7 down here. I do like the 7, it just, I don't know, I just like it. Okay, and then we go for a 2 coming out the side of there. Okay, they're just big and bold and fun, and I like that. But this is the whole point. It's about building this up in a way that suits you. Now, I am going to bring in something just for a second. The D'Inkables that we launched last week from D'Inkable Sets 14, I really do think some of these hearts are going to look particularly stunning. So I'm going to go in with my, I'm going to get a piece of card, an off copy, unbeen raided. Okay, just to protect that there, because I think these will look particularly nice. I mean, they would have looked nicer if I hadn't smudged, but you know, you can't have everything, can you? You just... Definitely, I think they're a marvellous addition. Okay. Now, in order to save you from watching me cut out, I have also prepped some of the butterflies from the birds and butterfly sets that are currently in the end of line section, but you may have these already. Again, these are sort of like a long-standing Be Crafty set, and what these are going to do is just add on that next layer. But do you know what? First, I'm actually going to stick this on to the card because I think that's going to make life easier. But before I do that, I'm going to grab my scissors, okay, and I'm going to rough up the edge because I like how it looks if I'm not layering. Okay, if you're going to do this, please be exceedingly careful. If you don't think you can do it safely, don't do it. If you can, if you think you can and you were wrong, that's not my fault. You know, just be careful. Oh, that was a good one. Am I fretting about it? No, I am not. Okay. So now we have our roughed up edges, which, sorry, I'm just going to wipe off my hands in an attempt not to get black marks on my card. Yeah, it made me laugh as well. So we're going to get our card. Just checking. Okay, we're going to get our foam pads. Sorry, that rather distressed I just did was because I leant forward on my chair and the chair nearly fell over. Now, good disclaimer. Why thanking you, please may thank you. I'm sure it's something you've all done before. I'm just saying that if you do damage yourself, I accept no responsibility whatsoever. On Alison's, she has layered it up on black, which looks absolutely stunning, because obviously we've stamped in black, so it helps really bring that layer to life, which is beautiful. But I will say, with all my chattering and going on and nearly falling off a chair, etc. So I'm just going to put a few more on. I've got loads of them. We're still, it's half hour. That's all it's took so far. Okay, so you doing this without me talking, or even if you're doing it along with me. Okay, nothing on this bit was pre-prepped. Okay, so if you want to do it back with me, you can. See, half hour. Look at that. Beautiful. If you want to do a big sentiment or something across the middle of there, who's to say that wouldn't look great? Well, I want to know who, because I'm telling you, they are wrong. Never has anyone been more wronger, actually. But anywho, back to the job at hand. Right, I am going to get some scissors, just like these ones that I just told you not to damage yourself on. All right, and we're going to cut up some of these foam pads because we're going for sort of like a card making vibe. I'm not going to use my collage medium at all. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick that one over the middle there. Now, of course, you could colour these in using the colours of inks you've used, things like that to make them really stand out. I am going to put them on in white, but again, you don't have to do that. This is the whole point. It's taking the inspiration that you see from the creative team and making something that you love, that you're happy with. And that's, you know, what we're after. Okay. So we're going to go here. See, that was sort of the wrong butterfly. I should have used one of these ones. So now I have to add 2 more, because otherwise I've got 4. And I don't think I can do that. I'm going to put one of these little ones up here. And also, this is obviously a great thing if you've got, if you have made a bit of a mess anywhere with either your stamping or your inking. This is why you don't worry about it. You worry about it when you get to this stage, because then you decide what you're going to stick over it. Okay. Okay, so there's our butterflies on there, all 3D'd up and stunning. I also do have a number cut out that was already in my stash, but I can't. No, that obviously wasn't stamped with any new VersaFine pad, so we're going to just put that to the side. We've had lots of people, well, we have had several people ask about the transparencies. Okay, this again would be a great thing to layer transparencies. Okay, because you can layer transparencies into this space. So if we take, even if you had something like, so we've got the birds from last week, you could add in some of the circles. You could add a big bird over it, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? You've got all those possibilities that we really like. I'm just going to lift out of here. I've got some of the sketchy birds that I haven't coloured in. And some of the sketchy flowers. And I'm just wondering, no, again, they haven't been stamped and a black enough pad for me. What else have we got? See that little twiglet it has, but I've kind of feeling it would be all by itself. What else have we got? I'm not saying I'm going to put anything on, by the way, so you know. Don't panic if you're thinking, God, I hope she doesn't. Nothing's guaranteed as yet. Wrong colour. I can't lie, that's pretty groovy. But I think I've put too many butterflies on to use it now. Oh, I didn't mean to use the squares. Treasure. I feel like I was a different person when I cut all them out. Not sure I'd be bothered to do it now. Okay, so these are little circles from the Journaling Essentials 2. Okay. See, I know you're trying not to be super impressed with all my cut-out boxes, but you just can't help yourself. It's just impressive. Right, so again, we're going to go back to some of our little foam pads we've just chopped up. You see, this is the thing, most of the work, for want of a better description, is actually quite quick. It's these little bits when you're fussing about and what have you that take the time. I'm going to add that one. There. And then one more over by this number 3. So this is the thing, if you want to do something and you're not sure where to start, or you're like, I want to do something, say you know, I don't want to sit and watch TV. It's all rubbish, we've seen it all before, and whatever. But you're not sure you want to get everything out. Stamp and cut out little bits, because you can use them later to create something mega. Right, so we need words now, don't we? So we're going to go to our WORDage. We're going to go for the one right at the front, which is mixed messages to are we though, Bev? Are we? I just don't know. Sorry, I'm thinking. Stay with me, Don't run away. Is that one too long? I like me better. And I'm with you. Because of that placement, I feel it is. That butterfly, if I'd have put it a little bit over that way. Yeah, I'm going to damage the card if I try and take it off. Okay. So let us go with a positive vibes only. Okay, I had some little strips of card from when I was preparing that piece of card. Where did I put them? There's one. I'm going to go with some positive vibes only. Why am I trying to stick it to the piece of card? I was just trying to see if you were paying attention. That's all. It's not because I'm an absolute wally. Nothing strikes the fear into any husband, Caroline, as I've been thinking. Sometimes it's fun just to do it to see their reaction, I'm not going to lie. Right, so we're going to put this on here. Positive vibes only. Fantabulous. We're going to give that a little setty set with the heat tool. Okay. Now obviously this is verse fine. Okay, so if you were to go over this now with some clear embossing powder, it would still stick. So you have to be prepared for that. So we're going to cut that. And then I'm going to do my best impression of cutting a straight line. Which it is not, but that's okay, because the text is a bit wibbly. Okay, and then I'm going to get a pen. And I won't lie, I'm only doing this on mine because Alison did it on hers. Got a little positive vibes only. Got to admit, that looks rather fantabulous. Okay, so again, see, so we haven't even used the whole thing of foam pads, and everything's been stuck down with foam pads. So we're going to put our positive vibes right in there. I actually like the way it's a bit funky shaped. I think that really stands out really, really, really nicely. Okay, I'm going to get my white Posca because I'm me. Okay, and we're going to add in a little bit of white detail. So how would I have done this different if it was an art journal page? Okay. In all honesty, I'm not sure I would have done much different at all. I card make like I art journal and vice versa. As I've said before many times, the two are in no way a mutually exclusive craft. They share a lot of the same techniques. They share a lot of the same products. So if you do one and you fancy a go at the other, absolutely go for it, because there is nothing holding you back. Well, apart from you. So, and this is a do as I say, not as I do thing, by the way. If you don't listen to yourself for all the good stuff about yourself, you're not allowed to listen for all the bad either. So we can just add in another. Let's take back a little bit of the white on top of the stamping. Okay, do the same in the numbers. Add in a bit of a faux stitch. Again, you don't have to add in these sort of details. But you see, I've used sort of very like the pen and ink style stamps with the sketchy stamps. Again, they're not mutually exclusive. Share and mix them up. It's good fun. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of a faux stitch around this rough border, because it's so good. So what I wanted to do tonight is really show off how your stitchy borders are just a great addition if you want to extend some of your stamps, you know, extend like that collage feel of your stamps. You know, if you want to pull out elements that you can see in some of your Be Crafty stamps and really join them together, use sections, use parts. Just have fun with it, basically. And then, so that's a lovely big 8x8 card. And there's lots going there. But again, if you think, well, that part was too much, or I wouldn't have added that bit there, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. When you do it your way. That's what we like. All right then, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Make sure you do check out and have a go and put some entries in to Sally's challenge for June. That is over in the Be Crafty Stamps group. I am going to go there right now, and I'm going to take a picture of this card and I'm going to put it next to Alison's one, so you can see how you can take inspiration and recreate without it being exactly the same, because I think that is really, really helpful to make sure you're getting the most out of the fantastic samples that the creative team are sharing with you. All right then, guys, if there's anything else we can do for you or anything else we can help you with, please let us know, and have an absolutely fantastic rest of your week. Bye.